Welcome back. I want to show you how to use the Classwork tab on Google Classroom. I will probably have some follow-up videos on how to use Classwork for certain types of assignments, because otherwise this video might get a little long. But I'm going to show you the basics of the Classwork tab right now. So I'm in my classroom. I click on Classwork, and you'll notice several things here. One is this big Create button. We're definitely going to use that. You'll also see that your classroom's Google Meet, Google Calendar, and Drive folder are all linked at the top of the Classwork tab. We will have separate videos talking about how to use those, but this is one place that you can access those features. When I push the big Create button, you see I have a lot of options. You probably won't have the Cami assignment option. I have that because I have the Cami add-on for Google Chrome, and I set that up. But you see you can create an assignment, a quiz assignment, a question, a material, reuse a post, or create a topic. And I usually like to start by creating topics. Topics are sort of the containers that you can use to organize the different information in Google Classroom. In the face-to-face classroom setting, a lot of times it makes sense to have your topics be for a unit, or in the elementary classroom you might use like ELA and science and math. In the distance learning classroom, a lot of times the topics end up being tied to dates. So you might have a topic for a week and have all of the assignments for a week in that one topic. Unfortunately, you cannot currently nest topics in Google Classroom, so it's not like you can have a Unit 1 topic with then different weeks inside of it like you can in Moodle or Blackboard. So it doesn't work that way. So we will set up a topic, and I'm going to call it Week 1. You can call it whatever you want. And you see now I have a topic, and I'm going to go ahead and create another topic, Week 2, and add that. And now I have 2 topics. And you can see over here, I can use this little navigation bar on the side to jump to a particular topic, which is really handy. And I can also, on the All Topics page, I can kind of click and drag these and reorder them in any way I want to, which is nice. Oh, sorry about that. I have a new trackpad and I'm not still getting used to it. See, I'm definitely still getting used to it, but you can reorder these. Right. And I can also take this assignment that I've already created and click and drag that into a topic and move it into that topic. Another thing that's nice about topics is you don't have to show them all at once when I create a topic. Actually, that's wrong. I apologize. That's assignments, not topics. But now that I have some topics in here, let's make some assignments. So when I create an assignment, I'm going to show you just the most basic kind of form of that in creating an assignment. I'll show you in a different video probably how to reuse a post from a classroom you already set up. And I'm going to give it a name, and I can put directions in, and then notice down here where you can either add or create. If you click add, it's going to let you attach one of these types of activities: a Drive link, a link to an external website, a file that you upload from your computer, or a YouTube link. YouTube is owned by Google. It's part of Google, so they make it easy to link to those videos. You can also, and this is a newer feature, create a Google Drive file right from the assignment. And I really like this because instead of having to create it separately and then add it using the Drive feature, you can just create it. And I'm going to create a basic Google Doc. And you see it opens in a second tab. And I'm going to show you how I can make a template for an assignment using this feature. So I could be like, read the information at blah, 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 and then answer the questions below. And I can have something like 1, what was the author's purpose? 2, what was the main idea of the piece? What is a question you still have after reading this? All right, so I have some questions in that document. And if I hop back over to Google Classroom, notice here that next to this document, and by the way, this still says untitled, that will update on its own now that I've entitled the document, but You can either choose that students can view the file, in which case they can open it, but they can't make any edits to it. I do not usually use that for assignments, unless I'm posting, maybe I'm posting multiple documents and one of them is directions, I might use that. You can use students can edit file. This is important because if you choose this feature, keep in mind that all of your students are going to be editing the same file. So I use that sometimes if I'm attaching a Google Slides, I might choose that, and then each student or each group of students may choose one slide in the slideshow to edit. And there's a good demarcation about who's responsible for what, and then they can all view each other's work. But with something like a Google Doc, that can be tricky. And then my favorite is make a copy for each student. And I very often choose make a copy for each student. And then over here on the right side, you see I can either click assign and it will go ahead and post this assignment to my Google Classroom. I can schedule the assignment to post at a future date and time that I choose. I can just save it as a draft and then I can come back to it later. And I also have options here again about what classes I want to share the assignment to, what students I want within the class to have access to it, how I want it to be graded. Come on now. The due date, which I'm going to go ahead and set. I'll tell you about why later when we talk about the classroom, but I always set a due date and time for my assignments. And then I can either go ahead and put it in a topic right off the bat, or I can even create a new topic for it. Or once I'm back on that Classwork tab, I can just drag it into the topic I want it to be a part of. And then a relatively new feature is you can create a rubric to use to grade the assignment. And I'll probably do that as a separate video because, like I said, this one's getting kind of long, but that's a cool feature. And then if you're doing some kind of student writing, you can use originality reports to check for plagiarism. So let's go ahead and click assign. Give it a moment. And I see there's my test assignment. And if I switch over to Cowboy, I see that Cowboy should also have the test assignment. By the way, notice I went past that kind of quick, but it wasn't showing up in the stream because the stream hadn't been loaded, but it shows up with this little reminder that the stream has been updated. And if I click show, it will pop up. And then it was on the Classwork tab. And then when Cowboy accesses this template, notice he has the document. And when he opens it, it's already got his name in the title, which is great. This is Cowboy's individual copy of this document. No one else has access to it but him right now, and it's his. And it's got his name on it. And he can do this work, and then he can come over here and turn it in if he wants to and re-upload it. One thing that's really nice about the make a copy for each student, this is the last thing I'll show you in this video, is in the class drive folder. Your Google Classroom stores things as part of your drive. You can see that I have this templates, do not edit, and the template I just created for that assignment is in that folder. So this is something now easy that I can reuse from year to year. And then I also have a folder called Test Assignment 2 that if I open that is going to have all of my student work for this template. And I especially like this because they will all be listed here. And you can easily see when the last time the students modified them was. So even if I am going to have students basically work in a blank Google Doc, I will often attach a blank Google Doc for them to work in because I'd like to be able to see when it was last modified. And I can also open their work and view it before they have turned it in. So I can kind of drop in and check on them as they're working. And while I don't, I think, have full editing privileges, I can make comments that then Cowboy will see on his work before he turns it in. So that is how you make assignments in Google Classroom. I really like the make a copy for each student. I use it a lot. I hope you will also find it helpful. Later, when we talk about these features with the drive folder and the calendar and stuff, we will talk more about the importance of adding a due date and time to assignments. But I do encourage you to do that.